Thank you, Amanda. I think you have a new job, which is to introduce me from now on. She's amazing, is she not? I'll tell, yeah. In fact, since the day she and Nico took over, not took over, leased our space, but literally took over, they have changed this patio out here to be one of the most, the hottest spots in the area, and the hottest spots for science, for discussion, for arts, for humanity. So thank you very much for doing this. But my job today is to welcome you all, and thank you for being here, and thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Naila, where is she? There, for thinking of San Diego, and especially UC San Diego. You could not have chosen a more perfect place. And if you think I'm lying, you just have to go outside there and look towards the west, and what you will see is the fabulous Pacific Ocean. There's no view like this in the country. And slightly to its right, you will see the Torrey Pines Golf Course. There's no view where, maybe except in Monterey, but that's at the low level, right, the sea level. But it's not just physically beautiful, it's intellectually very beautiful because, and it's very appropriate that UC San Diego is the host for this summit out here. As Amanda was saying, not too long ago, with the help of Suresh, who will say hi to him, he's our Executive Vice Chancellor, Suresh Subramani. We embarked upon a strategic plan, and we identified several themes. One of the themes that is so relevant to this day and age and to this summit was titled Understanding Cultures and Addressing Disparities. And this is because the world has become, there's more and more disparities in the world today, especially in this country, which was known for a very broad middle class. And I think the best way to deal with disparity is through empowerment of various types. And we at UC San Diego have been supporting a lot of research in this area. In fact, I want to call out 3 centers that I think are really relevant. There's other centers too, but I want to call out at least these 3 centers today. The first one we talked about last night was Center on Gender Equity and Health. An amazing center. Anita, where are you? She's running, oh, there she is. So she's running that center. Just got a very big grant from the Gates Foundation to just think about the girl child and basically women's empowerment issues, not just in the U.S., not just the border, but all over the country, all over the world. The second center, which I want to point out, which is called CREATE. It's called Center for Research on Educational Assessment and Teaching Excellence. Micah Pollock, where's Micah? She's not here, but she was there last night. She's leading that, and this is a center that's trying to address the whole notion of educational disparities in the local population out here, but in the context of what's happening in this country. We hear a lot about tuition going up, education not being accessible to most people, which is true. So if you think about the country, the median income in the country is $50,000. A family of 4 is about $50,000. This is pre-tax. So just take a very, school like UC San Diego. Let's assume there's no tuition, which of course, if you make that much, there will be no tuition. And that is one of our commitments to access. That's one of our commitments to addressing disparity and creating equality and empowering the lower socioeconomic kids. So if you have to pay no tuition, you still have to pay $20,000 for living. That is not easy for a family that makes $50,000, and if half the country is in that boat, we have a problem. We have a really big problem. So I think what you are doing out here, this Alliance for Empowerment, is a very strong notion. It's going to be very significant, very relevant, not just to San Diego, not just to UC San Diego, but the whole country. So that was the second center, CREATE. The third one I want to talk about is Center on Social Justice, run out of UC San Diego again, and looking at disparities and lack of social justice across a whole range of populations, across a whole range of areas. And these 3 centers, combined with our work in Tijuana, where we have our medical doctors, our public health people opening clinics there and dealing with sex workers who are there not by choice, but purely by chance and purely because of desperation, and they get stuck at that border, and they cannot go back, and they cannot go north, they cannot go south, and they're just stuck there in this no man's land. And we have our doctors, really high-powered researchers who go there and understand why this is happening, how does one deal with migration, how does one deal with immigration, and how does one think about it. If you've not been tracking the latest fiasco in Europe where there's a whole lot of migration happening, some of our faculty members have written great thought pieces on this. This was in the Wall Street Journal just about a week ago. The point I'm trying to make is UC San Diego might seem to you like a STEM place. There's biologist is number 2, engineer is number 1, but that's not who we are. We are, as leaders, we are very strongly supportive of arts, humanities, social sciences. We want to bring it all together. We want to showcase the whole-mindedness or the holistic education we are creating and the student we are graduating who's going to be holistically graduated. So I can go on and on and on, but really I'm just a warm-up act. The real fun part is going to be Becky Pettit, who is new to this place. I'm not going to introduce her, but she will introduce herself at some point. When you hear her, you'll be amazed. And so we are so thankful that you chose Becky to be the keynote talk. So thank you very much and welcome everybody.